Rob's joined me again. Pastor Rob from Bethany Baptist
Good
Church in
morning.
Ynyshir. Good morning, Rob. And I'm not going to ask you to introduce yourself as such, okay? Because we've already recorded a testimony. And so if people don't know your background, then I would encourage them to just go and have a listen to that. Because today, Rob, what I'm hoping to focus on is what we couldn't do last time, is the church that you lead and pastor in Ynyshir.
Yeah.
Tell us about Bethany Baptist Church in Ynyshir, would you?
Oh, where do I start?
I love that. I love that when you don't know where to start because there's so much to give.
It is a special place. That's the first thing I will say about it.
Brilliant.
Normally, when we get people come into there for the first time, especially because the church is a different setup to most churches. Downstairs is where we've got the community-based centre. Then we have stairs that go upstairs and take you up to the church. And most people that go up to the church, they actually stand at the very back, and the reaction is, wow, there's something different about this place. And that's when we always jump in and go, yeah, it's the presence of God. God is here with you right now. But we've had that from Christians who've been Christians for 20 years. We've had it from people who have never stepped foot in a church. And God is obviously the focal point, but the people there that attend the church are just amazing. The one thing that you can be guaranteed when you come to Bethany is that you will get a warm welcome. Being in Wales, I'll say there's no way on earth that you will leave Bethany without having a coach. That is for certain. It is impossible. Even if you don't like them, you will still get one. It is a certainty. It's just impossible to escape. We are a church that is based for the community. We want to be there for the community. We want to do what we can to help the community. Obviously, of course, our main aim is to lead people to Christ. That is behind every single thing that we do, is to lead people to Christ, because that is what we want to do. That is our goal in life. That is we want to bring people out of the darkness and into the lightness. And the state of this world that we live in, there is so much despair, destruction, stress, anxiety out there. And the only answer to that is Jesus. To get that message out there, we have got to be in the community. We have got to be part of the people in the community. We've got to be seen there. And that's what we try and do. We try and do things and run things that involve the community. So, because one of the things that I've found is getting people to even step over the door of a church is hard work.
Just tell us a little bit about the community that you're in, the challenges that they face, because you're obviously a very community focused church. So before we go into looking at how you reach the community, tell us about the community itself. Can you, and some of the challenges that the community faces?
The community is a very typical Rhondda community. It's a close-knit community. Everybody knows each other. Everybody knows each other's business. It's just, and it's not a bad thing. It is still, but it comes from the mining communities. It's still, a bit of it is still in there in the community. But towards God, it's still a hard sell. It's known as being hard ground, but we are trying our best to crack the ground open, and it has been working. We've had a steady stream of new people coming into the church, which has been fantastic. I want them to come in and know that this is a place where they can feel welcome and they can feel loved and be there without any threat. We run a breakfast club on a Tuesday morning, and we had a guy turn up who was in a desperate state. He really needed help, but he didn't want to come into the church. He literally stood at the front of the door and we said, just come in. Said, it's not the church, it's the downstairs, the community centre. And he was looking around the door and he could see all the breakfast laid out and the cereals, the toast, croissant, the coffee, tea, all that. But he still wouldn't come in because it was just church to him. He said, I can't go into a church. His words were, if I set foot over that threshold, I'll set on fire. You won't believe the things I've done. And I've said, I don't care about the things you've done. I care about you now. And I said, and Jesus is here for you, and he has forgiven you of things that you have done. And if you come in, I said, if you want to, we can sit and we can have a talk about it. I went in, made them, brought them out on the train. We've got a bench outside and we just sat and talked.
That's interesting, yeah.
And after that, he sort of got up and he sort of just very slowly came into the church.
Wow.
And it was like a small victory. And he's been back a few times and we are helping him as much as we can. But I've been trying to talk him into going into rehab, which is going to be a long process, but it's what we're there for, is to help there, but be part of the community. We now do Challenge Valleys workshop, surgery from Bethany Baptist Church, which I head up because I know
you've been trained. I mean, you've been trained in that by them, haven't you?
Yeah, but the thing is, I know Matt and Mel personally, as I probably said in the last
interview, you did. Yeah, you shared.
Matt was one of the staff members when I was in Teen Challenge, so it's something that's very dear to my heart. And again, it's just being there for the community, helping the vulnerable, helping those that are in desperate need, helping those that have got nowhere to turn. Because I can't say his name, but he, as we was doing it, he broke down crying and said, I've just never had this help. No one's ever taken this time to even talk to me like you talking to me. No one's taken. He said, I've been to drug counsellors, I've seen to that. And he says, I'm just a number. He says, but you're doing this because you care. And he could see that, which was amazing. It was great to see.
Because you've been there yourself, haven't you? So you can relate to it.
It's only through God's strength and God's power that I can do it. There's no other reason behind it, no other explanation. That's the only way that I can do it.
Is sort of drug addiction, alcohol addiction, is it sort of a big problem in that community?
It is. I think it's the same as any community. I think drug addiction, alcohol addiction is just rife everywhere you turn at the minute. Unfortunately, there's certain areas in the village where you can walk past and you can pretty much guarantee you can smell the weed coming from some house. You're not quite sure where, but you get a strong smell of it in the streets, and you think, I wish I knew where they were so I could go and knock on the door and tell them that there is another way. But it's it's the same wherever there is hardship, depression, and things like that. Drugs is going to rear its ugly head, and that's why, like I said, Challenge Valleys and what they do is so vitally important. That's why I appeal to any other churches in South Wales, if you don't have a contact with Challenge Valleys, to make a contact with them, because they are a lifeline for people out there who are desperately in need. But moving on, we also now on a Monday do, and this is a fairly new thing, do a thing called the Upper Prayer Room on a Monday morning, which we do from 9 till 12. And it's just basically a quiet place for people to come along and spend some time with God, to get away from the craziness of this world. And
so is that, can I just ask you, is that a quiet place, or is it an arranged sort of, led prayer meeting?
No, it's just a quiet place. No one speaks. People just come up. People spend 2 minutes there. People spend half an hour. People spend
Amazing,
as long as they want there. And one of the
amazing.
things that we've started doing is from 9 till 10, we've actually started broadcasting it live. It was just an idea that Sue had, and it literally is just a picture of the church. It's from the back of the church, and it just shows like a picture of the serenity of the church. And we broadcast that live, and we put on it, if you've got any prayer requests, please let us know. We'll pray for you as a church. And we do that for an hour and then knock it off and put, but there's seats for people to sit on, so they're off camera early. But we keep it open until 12 o'clock, just for people to come along and escape the world and have that bit of quiet time, even if it's just to have 5 minutes out. But most of them, there's been people up there who have ended up wailing, crying, because God has just spoken to them and talked to them, and it's been amazing ministry.
So that's in its early days now, but you're already seeing some fruit from it. Is that right?
Yes, definitely, 100%.
So do you get Christians coming, or do you just get people who would not associate with church coming?
At the minute, it is mainly Christians who turn up.
Yeah.
But we have had a couple of people who are not Christians come as well, and they've gone up, sat there, and they've gone away saying there was just something different, something happened, and we obviously then opened up the conversation about how that's the presence of God that you've just felt, and it opens up then further conversations down the line, which is, like I said, it's absolutely amazing. Then on a Wednesday we do the parent/caregivers toddlers group called Squiggles, which is absolutely fantastic. It's a play group for toddlers. I think the age is 0 to 4, and it's run by all the ladies of the church. But they've had an amazing amount of young people, like toddlers, turn up. They do fun games. They always sing Christian songs. They always have a story from the Bible, like obviously a children's version of it. But and they always go away from there with big, massive smiles on their faces. The parents enjoy themselves. The parents are out there involved in everything that is being done as well, and it's fantastic. It's really an amazing ministry.
Yeah, so you're seeing fruit. You're seeing fruit from that ministry because you and yourself and Claire, you came off the streets really yourselves. That's your background. That's your history.
Yeah.
You were on the streets in one way or another, and so having now been called into ministry and to lead this church, the heart for the community in you and Claire as well, with what she shared, is clear to see, and that's why you're so enthusiastic to engage with the community, which is excellent.
Well, then there's another women's group on Thursday morning called More Than a Ladies' Coffee Morning, because the lady that runs that is called Diane, and it was being called a coffee morning. And she said, well, it's not coffee morning. It's more than a ladies' coffee morning.
It's very clever. I like that. Yeah.
So I said, okay, that's what we'll call it then. More than a ladies' coffee morning. So, and
that's really clever, because people will be thinking, oh, what's the more? Yeah, I'm interested. I want to go along to that. That's really clever.
And all these we've been reaching out to on Facebook and things like that. And we've been getting people turning up, and we are starting to reach people, which I said, this is only my first year of doing this. I'm new to everything, but it is something that I am really passionate about. I want to be there to reach the people. We've started once a month showing The Chosen. So we do like a little movie night downstairs.
Brilliant.
So far, we've only had the church people come, but it is free and open to everyone else. We're hoping in the new year to start doing other things as well. I'm hoping to start a discipleship course for new or people who are interested in Christianity or new Christians to just come along and be introduced to Jesus, sort of thing. And I'm sure as the year goes on, there'll be more and more things like that happen, that go along and just come along. It's where God leads, and where God leads, that's where I want to go.
Right. And I take it that you've got, with all these things going on, you've got a good team behind you by the sounds of it, because you yourself and Claire can't manage to do all this yourselves. So tell us about the team, as far as the people within the church.
They are a good bunch. The leaders are good people, but it's more than that. It's the whole church. They are the team. There is not one person that comes along that doesn't help in one way or another. The whole church is the team. There is no other way to put it. They are an amazing bunch. When someone new turns up, it'll take them 20 minutes to get to the seat, because everybody wants to meet them. Everybody wants to greet them. Like I said, the ladies that run the ladies groups, the ladies that run the squiggles, they are all just unbelievable. Their love for Jesus is amazing, and it shines through in everything that they do. Then they've got people like Karen, who runs the breakfast morning, who is out every week doing the shopping for it, going out, just getting the cereals, getting the bread, getting everything, the milk, everything we need for the breakfast morning.
It's a big responsibility, isn't it?
Yeah, and it is. And it's, like I said, without these people, it wouldn't happen. And a massive thank you to everybody at Bethany for that, because it's like I said, it's not something me and Claire can do on our own, but
exactly,
the church itself is a unified team. People just seem to be enjoying themselves. I think that's the best way I can describe it. People wanting to be. It's like when I first did The Chosen, I'll be honest with you, it was Thursday night, it was raining, and I thought, oh, I wonder how many people are going to turn up.
As you do,
And
yeah.
we had 18 people from the church turn up,
Gosh.
and it was because they wanted to be there. They wanted to be part of the church family. They didn't want to miss out, and they wanted to be involved. And not only that, it was amazing to see, because not only that, Harper brought bags of popcorn with them, bags of sweets, bags of crisps. Okay. So that, and we ended up with a table with all that on it, so that everybody could help themselves to things like that before.
When's your next showing?
To be honest with you, we've been doing it every Thursday of the month. So I'm not sure of the date, but the next one should be the first Thursday of December. But because December is such a busy month, it might end up being January. I'm not 100% certain.
Because it's a great way of engaging people, particularly people who don't understand or don't know the story of Jesus.
Yeah.
And that's who it's for. That's who The Chosen is for people who've never encountered this person primarily. But obviously we as Christians, or the majority of Christians, I would say, appreciate it as well, because we see the humanity of Jesus and the compassion of Jesus. But the way it engages with non-Christians and touches their lives and sort of draws them to want to know more about this person, Jesus, is amazing. I'll put some details up about The Chosen, because some people may not have come across The Chosen, just as an explanation of what it is.
I've never come across a Christian show like it. It is something that is fantastic, and it's a great tool. And I think it's brilliant, to be honest with you.
And I love The Chosen, but I don't agree with everything that's on it. But we've got to remember why it's there, and it's there as an evangelistic tool primarily.
Yeah, but it's a great introductory. I think people watch that and then they go away wanting to know more. And I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Rob, this conversation has just flown away with us again, really. But I just, it sounds as if you're doing a great job there. I know that you're new to being a pastor, but you're doing a great job. And just the fact that the church is sort of so willing to serve, not to serve you, but to serve people in the community, by volunteering and leading these clubs and things, is a testimony to the heart that they have for Jesus. And it's a testimony to your leadership as well. Bless you.
Thank you.
Because I know you're a people's person.
I try to be, definitely.
Yeah, you're a people's person. So, listen, thank you for sharing, Rob. Okay.
Not a problem at all. Anytime. It's been a pleasure and blessing.
And I think that we will be visiting this again at some stage.
And like I said, anytime.
Yeah, with some testimonies of, how God is touching people's lives through the work that you're doing there in Ynyshir. But for now, Rob, thank you very much for joining me. And
no problem.
God bless you, mate. Okay.
God bless you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.